All right, welcome everybody. So we are excited to bring you a new show today. We are partnering with Bitclout, and we have Salil here with us today. And we are very excited to bring the show to you guys. It's something that we feel the community needs, and it's going to be very informational, provide a lot of good content and a lot of good value. So let's go ahead and we're going to talk a little bit about what it is, why we're doing it, and how it's going to help you. So yeah, let's get started. Salil, would you like to talk a little bit more about, what brought the vision behind this and why we're doing this?
Absolutely, yeah. So thank you for
Mhm.
partnering with Prosper Cloud. Super excited. So at Prosper Cloud, our main mission is to help creators and help coin holders and help make Bitclout a safer ecosystem.
Yep.
So with Cloudroom's platform, I think it's a good collaboration where we can share content and share coin analysis with the users, right? So the goal here would be twofold. One would be just help people figure out what to look at before maybe going buying a coin, right? Few quick things to look at, right? We are
Mhm.
very clear, right? We want to stop all scams or rug pulls. But even if we can save a few people, even if we can give few pointers, that would be helpful, right? So help people with that. And then number two, a bunch of creators that we would want to focus on are creators who've actually have traction on the platform. Their coin price, if you go by coin price, is doing well. And
Yeah.
new creators can almost use that as a blueprint. See what these people who've been on the platform for some time have done, right? And how they can actually use that as a blueprint to, attract investments, be popular, and be successful on BitCloud. So yeah, so those are the two goals for this, Cloudroom Prosper Cloud show. And
I love it.
yeah,
I love it. So essentially, what we're going to be doing every episode, we're going to be picking, one or two profiles. We're going to look at all the data. We're going to break it down, have some fun with it, and just really learn from the creators that have been on the platform, see what they're doing right, see what they can improve on. I know myself looking at Prosper Cloud, I learned a couple of things about my profile that I wasn't aware of. And it's really helped me just, change my strategy a little bit, clean it up for, potential future investors or anybody looking to grow on the platform. So really informational, and I'm excited to be here and produce this content for everybody. So yeah, let's get started. So in this show, you're gonna hear us use DYOR a lot. And what we mean by that is do your own research. That's something that we're gonna be consistently talking about throughout every episode is, you take the power, take the time, look at these metrics, and really take the time to see who you're investing in, why you're investing in them, and just the history they have on the platform. So we're very excited to introduce our first creator that we're going to be reviewing today. We have ASG, who is the founder of Bits Today, who is killing it on the platform and just an overall cool guy. So yeah, Salil, let's talk a little bit more about ASG's profile here.
Let's do it.
So looking at
So,
right, the first thing that we're looking for, I know that's big on the platform is the blue check mark, right? So talk to us
yes.
more about that. What does that mean? What does that represent on the platform?
Yeah. So, I think a lot of people are familiar with the blue check mark from the Twitter days.
Yeah,
It's somewhat similar, right? It's a verification check mark. I would say close to 2,000 people on the platform have that blue check mark. And what that means is that the BitCloud dev team has taken the time to make sure that this is an authentic profile, right? They have done some quick research off platform potentially as well to make
yeah,
sure this person is who they say they are and they have the account ownership. So that's all that blue check mark means, right? The good news is you see a blue check mark, you should feel comfortable about the creator, right? Like you know who the creator is.
yeah,
However, as Maz was just saying, do your own research. And one of the reasons is when you invest or when you buy someone's coins, you need to invest in the creator. You need to believe in the creator's vision and the
yeah.
mission, and you believe the creator will, deliver value. In addition, who has invested in the creator before matters, right? That's the cap table. Based on people selling the coins that they have already owned of that creator, that can actually meaningfully impact your own investment, right?
Yeah.
So not only the creator, but you need to understand the cap table. So blue check mark is important, but there are a few other things, right? Just don't blindly go with the blue check mark.
Exactly. And I have seen before, unfortunately, where a blue check mark, has, I'm sure there's ways to buy, through Instagram profiles, and I'm sure that there's ways to make a blue check mark not be a legit account. So always be careful. For the
Yeah,
most part, they are legit, but it doesn't mean that you should blindly throw money at it without doing
yeah.
your research. Absolutely.
And that's a great point, right? So also, it's a funny thing. I don't know. I have seen some projects on BitClout Mass where there are like unofficial verification, very
Yeah.
similar blue looking check marks. They are different than the
Yes.
official. So, just don't, just make sure this is the official blue check mark that BitClout gives out.
Exactly. Yeah, and those are great points. And yeah, the cap table and things like that. And then, those are the things that we see on the platform. But what we don't see, and talk to us a little bit more about this, is the account age. That's very important. I love that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So account age is when did the creator create their account? So BitCloud, I think, was open for public signup somewhat March 18th, 19th, around that time.
Yeah.
Looks like ASG had his account up and running on March 30th. So that's within 2 weeks of creating. And that's pretty early. When did you create your account, by the way? I'm just curious.
Probably I can verify, but it's around the first or second week of March. Yeah, so I beat
Yeah,
ASG
yeah.
maybe by a couple of days.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're the OG, right? You're also, the guy who got his account like within the first week when the passwords were still on, right?
Yeah, exactly. We had the password still on. I was on Reddit and I happened to get the password for it. I don't know, man. It was fun.
Yeah.
I just got here. I'm just here so I don't get fined, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so super old account, 70 days old account. You can see the date when the account was created.
Nice.
Typically older accounts, you get to see data, right? You get to see a
Mhm.
pattern, you get to see how involved, how engaged they are on the platform. So one of the things you want to do is, right, if someone creates an account yesterday or 2 days ago, just hold on, right? Unless you
Yeah,
know them, you're very confident about them, maybe know them in real life outside of BitCloud, it's a separate story, right? But
exactly.
if you're just looking someone up on BitCloud and you just see a new account, make sure you know what you're investing in.
Mhm. Yeah, that's good to know. Absolutely. Cool. And then, so yeah, just looking over to the right, I see it says username changes and it says 4. So tell us a little bit more about that and how that's useful for, people looking
Y-
on this platform.
yeah, so username changes, you want to look at it from two different lenses, right? Lens number one is how many times the profile has changed their username.
Yeah.
uh, and the lens number two is how frequently or when was the last time they changed their username.
Mhm.
Typically accounts that are scam accounts, that are trying to maybe hide a few things, have done something shady with a previous username, they will change usernames frequently.
Hmm.
In ASG's case, he has gone through a few username changes, but he did that, back in the days, right? Between March 30th and April 2nd, first few days of account creation, he was
Yeah.
trying to figure out, what he wants to be known as on BitCloud.
Exactly. And let's look at it. So March 30th, when he first signed up, ASG's username was Andrew Gibson. So first of all, ASG, I did not know your name was Andrew. So I'm gonna keep calling you ASG, but that's good to know. And then he changed his name the next day, it seems like, from Andrew Gibson to A Gib. Good choice changing that, by the way. And then A Gib to Andrew X, and then Andrew X to ASG. So yeah, very interesting. I'm sure he was going through discovery of, what
Yeah,
what what name can I have that's going to be catchy. And I think ASG is the catchiest one out of all those. So yeah, good choice, man. Really, really good
yeah.
choice. Absolutely. So now we got to figure
Do,
out what the S in ASG stands
yeah.
for, right?
Do you know?
What I have no idea. So ASG, when you're
I have
watching
no
this,
idea.
bro, let us know. The world wants to know. What is the S? I'm gonna take a guess and say Samuel. No idea. I'm just guessing. What do you think?
Andrew Samuel Gibson. Okay, I don't know. I have no idea, but I'm curious to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. So we'll figure it out. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, good to know. Very, very useful.
Awesome.
So cool. And then yeah, so moving on from that, let's look at to the right, we see money flow. Tell us a little bit more about that and how that's important.
Yeah. So when you're looking to invest in a creator, right? You want to see what the sense is, how people are feeling about the creator now. Let's say the
Yeah.
last week or so. Um, and that came out of talking to a few people, which said, you know what, they rebalance their portfolio every week. They try to figure out who to invest in versus where to pull investments out. Again, the number here, you want to look at it with a couple of different angles. Number one, which way it's going. Is money coming in? Is money leaving the account? But it matters what the magnitude of money is. In ASG's case, his market cap is over, like his coin market cap is over $100,000.
Yeah.
Coin price is north of $1,800. So $800 over the last 7 days flowing out of the account is not a huge number.
No.
And if you look at the coin price chart right below that, looks pretty flat, right? It's not going
Exactly.
crazy up, it's not going crazy down. It's found a good place. So
Mhm.
so that's what that means. Curious to hear your thoughts when you are looking at creators. Do you have a strong preference on which way the chart should be trending, or how do you feel about accounts that are somewhat steady?
So that's a great point because my coin has been pretty steady for the last month or so as well.
Yeah,
So I feel like as of now, we are in another, we're in like chapter 3 of Bitclout. So I feel like a
yeah,
lot of creators' coins have been somewhat stagnant for the last couple of weeks or so. But I
yeah,
feel that's a good thing, because as we continue to create content, as we continue to provide value, as we get new investors on the platform, as we transition and grow together, I feel like holding your value at a certain level is just a good floor, just a good base level to keep going to the next level, right? So
yeah,
the way I see it as a bullish thing for me. I see it as
yeah.
something that's great. There's safety there. It's
That's
stable there.
true.
So I like
Yeah,
that personally.
yeah, yeah,
We're
yeah.
still
No, I think.
early. Mhm.
Sorry, go ahead, man.
No, no, go for it. Yeah, yeah. I was just saying we're still early. So
Yeah, I loved your safety and stability point, right? A lot of people actually, in fact, almost three-quarters of BitCloud is sitting in wallet. People haven't
wow,
invested in creators.
wow,
So yeah, it's you can also look for accounts that have somewhat of a stable history, right? If your preference is to keep your BitCloud in your wallet, that's absolutely one potential way of doing it. The
yeah,
other is maybe look at accounts which are almost, stable accounts, steady accounts, and consider supporting those creators and
yeah.
moving your BitCloud there.
Yeah, that's a great point. And
Yeah,
like I said, as we continue to create content, like ASG, there's no way his coin will stay at this price as the platform scales.
right, right.
He's so important to the platform and the bits today and everything that he's providing that I just feel as BitClout scales, his coin will scale unless he does something crazy, and like his coin dumps or something scandalous. His coin seems like
Ex-
to be a good bet. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Awesome. The like if you look at the right side here, right, and this should
mhm,
give again people a little bit of comfort. There's a big number on top. It says 0.7, which is the volatility, how
yeah,
much the price is going up and down. But if you actually just go down two lines, right, 10-day high, 10-day low, $1,800, roughly in that range,
yeah,
right? So just the same thing, right? It's not going crazy high. Its average is $1,800. The high and the low, he's found a good place.
yeah.
Where the coin is sitting right now.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's great. And I feel like this would be very useful. Like I said, if there's a big increase in money flow or big decrease in money flow, like in and out,
Yeah,
we can see, oh, what happened this date that this happened. So that's the
that's
only
right.
time that I can see. I'm like, oh, but for the most part, it looks very stable. So that's good to know. And I'm sure
Yeah.
newer accounts will have more volatility, right? What do you think about that?
That's true. That's true, right? And that goes into a little bit of how the bonding curve works, right?
Yeah,
So you put in $10 and the coin price jumps a lot more. You put in
yeah,
$10 in, ASG's account and it won't have a meaningful impact there,
yeah,
or a material impact there. So you're right. So new accounts, but I feel, in some sense, there's a lot of upside to be gained potentially from newer accounts, but
yeah,
it almost feels to me in some world like you have penny stocks or you have pink sheet coins, right? I uh, Unless, as I say, right, the creator, it's a high risk move. You can
hmm,
actually make a lot of money because you get in early, you stay with the account, and if the creator delivers, you will do really really well, right?
yeah,
Unfortunately, if you don't know the creator, they don't have a lot of data or track record on the platform, so it becomes a little bit more speculative, a little bit more gut feel driven,
yeah.
versus data driven decision.
Exactly. Yeah. And for example, if I see a creator, with meaningful engagement, which we're going to talk about now, and they've been on the
Yeah,
platform for a longer period of time, their coin price, if their coin price is lower, I feel like
yeah,
it's going to catch up.
yeah, yeah,
So there's a bunch of creators now that have been on the platform for, 60 days plus who I've seen their
yeah,
coin prices double, triple in the last week or so because
yeah,
they've already proven themselves on the platform. So
yeah.
yeah, nice.
Is there a threshold, a day threshold when you start getting a sense of comfort with that person before you consider buying their coins?
I wouldn't say a days. I just kind of like maybe I'm sure a couple weeks or so, just getting familiar with them and knowing they're gonna
Yeah,
post because I've had people they come on, they're real people, but then they don't post anymore, right? They post for
yeah,
1 week and they leave. And that's the problem we had with verified creators from other platforms coming on. They would come on
true.
for one post and leave. And then yeah, you just left holding the bag there. So I
Yeah,
kind of go for a week or two. I don't know, sometimes more, sometimes less. But once I get a
yeah,
feeling that they're building on the platform, that gives me
yeah,
safety and peace of mind.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Hmm.
And I think that's great advice, right? Like, just look at their trend, or look at their commitment in some
Yeah,
sense, right? They may have the
exactly.
right intentions, right? Not everyone who leaves a platform or doesn't engage doesn't have the right intentions. It's just
Absolutely.
that it's a small community right now. People who have larger followership on other platforms potentially get more engagement,
Yeah.
so there might be a draw there, right? So again, not a judgment on their intentions, but it just
Hmm.
could be, what makes sense for them based on how much time they want to invest on the platform.
Exactly. Well said. Well said. And
Yeah.
speaking of time on the platform, let's talk a little bit more about meaningful engagement. I see this metric here. It looks very interesting. So, yeah, break it down for us. Let's talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So we define meaningful engagement in three different pieces, right? One is post, one is reply, and one is recloud. And
Hmm.
here's the reason for it, right? Post is new content that you type, a video, or sorry, an image that you take, that you put out to your followers. A reply is, again, replying to someone, right? Writing words and replying to someone. So that takes effort. Post takes effort, reply takes effort. Recloud doesn't take the same amount of effort necessarily as a post and a reply does.
Yeah,
However, Recloud, you're almost, blessing that message and sharing it with your followers on your profile. So we
exactly.
feel that's a strong signal that you're almost endorsing, in some sense, right? In a loose sense, you're endorsing someone's opinion, point of view, and sharing it with your followers. So
Absolutely.
that's why we broke it down into these three categories: posts, replies, and reclouds. And you can see here, right, from March 30th, when ASG created his account, up until now, he's been super active on the platform.
Hmm.
So the blue bars are the posts, the blue pieces. The green ones are the replies, and then the purple or the lavender ones are the reclouds that you can see here.
And ASG is the reclout king,
Yes.
absolutely. And that's awesome. That's really cool. I mean, that's providing a lot of exposure to, ASG's followers, so he's helping a lot of, creators by doing that. So that's amazing to see.
Yeah, yeah. The funny thing here that we can see is, so one of his busiest days, right, was April 7th.
Yeah.
42 posts, 122 replies.
Wow.
Um, and I think, Maz, you can probably figure out when Reclouds was available for everyone on
Oh yeah,
Bitclout.
look at that. I'm assuming April 9th, looking at ASG's chart here.
Yeah.
That's when we had reclouts. Interesting.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So before that, yeah, there was no Reclouds.
Yeah. No, that's
Crazy.
awesome. And it's awesome to see
Yeah.
the ratio. And this will be interesting to see as we go along and look at other creators' profiles, the
Yeah.
differences, right? Like
Absolutely.
what each creator does more of and how does that, equal to their coin price or to their engagement on the platform. So this is a really cool metric. I like it.
Absolutely, right. And you'll see different patterns here, right? So there is no one right answer. Typically, people who'll engage more will drive more engagement, should have higher coin price, but we'll explore that together, right?
Exactly.
Uh, the one thing I would say is, there are some projects that provide value through other ways and may not post very frequently, but you might see higher coin price. So
Exactly.
going back to what Maz said when we started this, do your own research, right? Figure out the model. This is your money you're putting behind a creator. Just
Yep.
make sure, right, it's in safe place.
Exactly. So yeah, looking at his posts, right? So it seems like he posts about 8.5 to 9 posts a day, which is great. And again, as we review more users and more creators, we'll kind of compare. But
Yeah.
just looking at this number alone, he's very active on the platform. And, as someone who is investing in someone, you want to see that, right? You want to see them engaging and you want to see them, posting as much as they can on the platform. So that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely, right. And this is new posts, right? I actually don't have this number anyways, right? If you think about it, if ASG is spending 8-10 hours a day on BitCloud, he's pretty much putting out a new piece every hour, right?
Yeah.
With
Every
eight
hour.
and a half,
Yep.
right? So he's super involved, and you can see, right? Most active day for him is Tuesday. Most active is Wednesday. Least active is Tuesday.
Hmm.
Um, so he's on the platform, just engaging.
Nice. Love it. That's great. Yeah, and this is very cool to see. And so yeah, moving on though, let's look at the coin holder distribution and concentration risk here. So talk to us a little bit more about coin holders, right? That's very important. Cap table. What does that,
Yeah.
bring to the table? Let's inspect it a little more here.
Yeah. So here's the interesting part, right? There's a lot of we hear a lot of people looking at the creators, believing in the creators, and that is very important, right? Creators drive this platform. Creators create value for coin holders.
Yep.
One thing you also want to look at is the coin holder, right? So here's a very simple use case I will share with you. Let's say I buy Maz's coins, and Maz is doing amazing. He's putting out content, engaging with people. Uh, and he's fulfilling every promise he made, and I'm very happy. If one
Hmm.
of the coin holders within Maz's cap table, person who had already bought coins or has material holdings on Maz's cap table, decides to sell for whatever reason, everyone else's investment goes down, right?
Exactly.
So
Hmm.
that's why when you are investing, you want to look at not only the creator, because that gives you a sense of, is this person, you know, genuine? Is this person, going to be active on BitCloud? Is this person, going to create value on BitCloud? But you also want to see who else has bought coins, bought this person coins, right? Because that gives you somewhat of a sense about how stable the coin price would be going forward. So in ASG's case, there are 101 people who've bought ASG's coins. You can see
Yeah.
it from the right side. And we break down coin holders into three categories: verified accounts, whale accounts, and shadow accounts.
Yep.
So let me talk about each. Verified accounts, like we talked about, these are the blue check marks, right? So typically verified accounts, they have a little bit of a history. They've been verified by the BitCloud dev team, so you feel comfortable if there's a high proportion of verified accounts holding coins.
Nice.
Whale accounts, these are large investors, right? And the definition here is people who have over 150 of their own coins in circulation. We've marked them as whale accounts.
Hmm.
And roughly, right, it depends on the BitCloud price, but roughly 150 coins in circulation would mean that individual's coin price is north of $10,000.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So having verified accounts, having whale accounts on someone's cap table somewhat grounds the cap table, gives them a little bit of a sense of security.
Yeah.
So you can look at on the right side, there are 17 verified and whale accounts that ASG has of the 101 account or 101 coin holders, and you can see who they are, right? So he holds a big portion of his own coins, and there's Douglas, there's Arts, there are a bunch of different people you can see here.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, this is great. And then reinvested. So that means 22% of the current coin holders have reinvested it. So they buy his coin more than once, then, yes?
That's exactly right, right? So 22% of the people, which is a very good number, right? You
Yeah.
want people who bought your coins putting money back into that creator, because whatever the creator is doing, 1 in 5 people almost is liking it, and they are coming back and putting more money in ASG. And you can also again see who the noteworthy people are. So ASG has bought more of his own coins, right?
Yeah.
Art has bought his coins, Douglas, Ben E, Ludo, right? They've all come back for more coins
Nice.
in ASG.
Yeah, that's awesome.
how
That's great.
how do you actually view in your mind whale accounts, verified accounts. Do you think, whale accounts, is it the right way to think about a account that's a large account gives stability in your mind? What do you think?
Um, that's changed throughout the platform for me. So yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely brings stability, but kind of like how Arts was talking about on the Bits Today podcast yesterday, when there is a big whale that owns a large amount of your coin, you almost feel a pressure to run everything by them, and
Yeah.
almost like you have to make sure they're because if they sell one day, which is normal, we can't
Yeah.
expect them to hold forever. And if they
Yeah.
don't see value, it's their choice to do what they want. But
That's
if they
right.
do sell one day, your coin can essentially be cut in half in a day. So
Yeah.
a lot of pressure. I do love that they invest in your coin and believe in the vision, but I think it works both ways. But it makes so it varies for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's a good point, right? And that's a good segue to, if you look at the chart left of reinvested percentage, right? The
Hmm.
22% here, that shows of his own coins in circulation, how many coins ASG holds. So the
Yeah,
first blue piece is he has about a quarter of the supply, right?
nice.
He has about 13.7. So a creator owning their own coins, again, it can be a good thing or not such a good thing, right? If you don't know the creator, they're holding a big chunk of their coins, you're putting money in. The minute they, let's say, sell everything that they're holding, your
Yeah,
investment goes down, right?
exactly.
In ASG's case, right, people know him. He's been on the platform for 70 days. He's a verified profile. It would almost shock a few people, give a few heart attacks if ASG sells every one of his coin.
Exactly.
Bits Today team might not be a happy team, but yes, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and that's a good point because a lot of these new accounts, if you look at their cap table, they own about, they own 90% of their coins. When they
Yeah,
get a couple buyers, then they rug pull and then they leave, right? That seems to be a
yeah,
very easy, quick way to scam new people on the platform. Um, but once you're more, like ASG, who's been on the platform for X period of time, more stable on the platform, you're less likely to rug pull. Doesn't mean that it can't happen. So again, do your own
yeah,
research, but
yeah,
it does provide a little more peace of mind moving forward when you invest in his coin.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And just to give a little bit of benefit of doubt to creators here, right? The way coin price works, right? Technically, the way bonding curve works is you actually want to buy your own coins in the beginning. So if
Yes.
you are 2 days, 3 days a week into the platform and you're a creator and you've bought 80%, 70% of your coin supply, that's a good thing. Almost
Hmm.
that's, the right thing to do because you bought your own coins cheap. You will now put in the effort to, create value on the platform and also increase your holdings, right? So it's
Exactly.
off the bat, not a bad thing. But that's why I would say personally, right? This is a complete personal opinion. I like to see accounts that have been around for some time, right?
Yeah.
Anything that's younger than, let's say, 2 weeks gives me a pause, a serious
Yeah.
pause, right? So 15 days is something that I like to look, if possible, more than 30 days out. It just gives me a good track record. Potentially the creator has gone through some highs and lows, and if they've still engaged in those 30 days, it just makes me feel good about that creator. But you know 30 days later also we've seen crazy stuff happen.
Exactly. Exactly. But it is a good rule of thumb. It doesn't mean that it won't happen. It just means that there's
Yeah,
less probability that it'll happen. Absolutely.
that's right.
Nice.
And going back to the point Maz raised, right, about if one coin holder holds a lot of your coins. So Douglas happens to hold about 20% of ASG supply, right? So one in every
Hmm.
5 coin in circulation Douglas has. He's about 11 coins.
Yeah.
So if Douglas stops liking what ASG is doing and happens to sell the coins, that would impact the position, right? That would lower the coin price significantly.
Exactly. Hmm. Yeah, and yeah, that makes sense, and that's also so if I'm a, new investor on the platform, these are things that I will keep in mind when I look at ASG's, profile and, how much I should
Yeah,
invest. And, I would also take that metric and since Douglas is, majority holder, does
yeah,
Douglas tend to hold for a long time? Does he, I would study what the investor does before I put X amount of capital in as well.
yeah. I think that's actually probably, if through this podcast you want to remember one line, is literally what just Maz just said. You know, it's a creator, but it's also look at their biggest coin holder and what their pattern is. Do they
Exactly.
tend to hold? Do they tend to get out, right? So you will do research, people will do research on the creator, but look at, if you have to look at one more thing, do what just Matt just said, look at their biggest investor and see their pattern, right? Those two things
Exactly.
combined will give you, a good sense of, what can happen to the coin price, probably.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great points,
Yeah.
man. This is really cool. So moving forward, looking at the wallet insights, does that matter to us as far as
Yeah. It just gives you a sense of, how the creator is feeling about them, how the community is feeling about them, right? So if you look
yeah,
at the creator wallet size here, it breaks it down into three pieces. The $78,000 in wallet size that they have here, right? Like, what came out of their coins, how much have they invested in others, and gifts they have received. So the
nice.
the fun thing here is, and the gift essentially is the diamonds, right, that they've
Yes.
received, or it could be, creator coin gifts as well, but mainly it should be diamonds, right? So if you look at this, about $2,300 of just diamonds or gifts ASG has received. So that's like 3% of his entire wallet size came
Yeah.
through gifts in the last,
Nice.
2 months of being on the platform.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then their
Um,
largest holding. Yep.
Yeah, largest holding is bits today, and that I like to see both of those in relation, right? So how is the creator feeling about their own holding? So he has, and in ASG's case, it's about same, right? He has 25,000 of his own coin holdings and about 29,000 of bits today. You know,
Yeah.
and that somewhat almost gives you a view into how this person is operating on the platform. If the person, and in,
Hmm.
in ASG's case, it looks like he's a creator, and mostly a creator because Bits Today happens to be, his project as well, one of, the
Yes.
thing he's super involved with, right? But if it was something else, right, if he was holding some other creator's coin, then he's not only wearing a creator hat himself, where, he's putting money into his own account, but he's also investing, right? So his archetype is both as a coin holder and a creator.
Yeah.
Knowing the context in ASG's case, I would say that in my mind, ASG is mostly wearing a creator hat on Bitclout than a investor hat. What do you think?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. He's definitely wearing more of a creator hat on Bitclout. And, it's interesting to see because I feel I can relate to him a lot where I feel like I'm mostly a creator on the platform, but I
Yeah,
do want to help, creators as well whenever I can by investing in them with what I can as well. So, yeah,
right,
very interesting to
right.
see. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Now let's talk about a big important part of a platform and a creator, the founder reward, right? So I know that has
Yeah,
a lot to do with a lot of things here. So let's break it down here. Talk to us a little bit more about that, like money coming in versus out with different founder
yeah.
rewards.
So founder reward, it has gone through its own little life, right? Today, founder reward is paid out in Bitclouds.
Yeah.
Back in the day, April, first week of May, it was actually paid out in your own creator coin. So let's talk
Mhm.
about what's happening right now.
Yeah.
When you invest in someone's coin, they have a percentage of, you know, your investment that actually is taken out of buying the coins, but sent to them in their wallet as BitCloud. So that's what's
Yeah.
happening as founder reward. And people have played with this number, right? There are reasons to have a lower number, there are reasons to have a higher number. A very quick thing would be, the higher the number, tend to higher numbers tend to have lower coin prices, lower numbers tend to attract a lot more investments.
Yeah.
But also higher number because people feel a part of their money is just not going into getting coins, but it's going as a it's going into, the founder's wallet. Uh, they don't like that as much, right? So now, if you look at ASG, his founder reward has gone through different phases, right? Uh, and let's look at the chart below. It'll
Yeah.
show you in every single day what was the high and a low on his founder reward. So looks like April 20th, and he might be playing with some stuff, right? He went as high as 50%. He could be trying something out,
Yeah.
but the day was 9%, and he's roughly stayed in that 0 to 20%, maybe even 10% range, mostly on founder reward.
Mhm.
And that's where he's kept it. And we can go into the how the money is flowing. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like, what's the number you think or you feel good about on founder reward?
For me, I try to be a troll, and my number is 4.20,
Oh,
so
I love that, man. I didn't know that.
yeah, so I feel like people can, they can see my sense of humor with that a little bit, and almost like I feel like numbers that have a specific meaning, like 1111, you
Yeah.
see that here,
Yeah.
0.69, little numbers like that. It's kind of a cool way to put a message out there with your founder reward and just kind of, take it lighthearted and just have fun with it. So that's
Yeah.
the number I've kept at the most part. I've changed it from 10%, 11%, all the way
Yeah.
to
Yeah. Yeah.
0%. But I do like where I'm at with that specific number. And
Okay.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. And you feel do you actually get messages from people asking you to lower it?
No, I have not gotten any message
Okay.
specifically. But back in when Bitclout first started, I was running if a big whale wanted to get in for X
Yeah.
amounts, I would give them a 0% founder reward for sure.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And that happens, right? Like, and especially if your founder reward, I would say, is north or like higher than 10%, 10-15%.
Yeah,
Sometimes people will message you asking you to lower it. I would say it's how you feel about it, right? It's a
exactly.
personal decision. I've kept my founder reward at 20%. Does that mean I've foregone some investments? Yes,
Yeah,
I have. But it also, I think, gives some sort of stability because people who feel that, 20% of their buy-in actually went to just rewarding me, they won't just buy and sell the next day,
no,
right? They
yeah,
just
you're
tend
not
to stick a
selling.
little longer.
Exactly, exactly. No,
Uh,
absolutely right.
so yeah, it's a complete personal thing. But let's go back, right, like to the chart above this, and then the chart above this shows two different snapshots. The left one is the total money that has come into ASG's account, and the total money that has left ASG's account at a particular founder reward. So that's the
Yeah,
left. And the 1111, the 11.11% seems like about $122,000 came in, and it also seems like about $95,000 left, right? Again,
wow.
doesn't matter, but that's what that number represents, right?
Yeah,
And this is a little bit of an insight that we're trying to give to creators so they can make a decision on, you if you can test over a few weeks, few months, right? What's the number that makes sense for you? So rather than a gut feel on what works, you can look at this.
yeah,
And the right chart becomes actually even more interesting. So in the right chart, it's not only how much money came in, but how fast that money came in. So it's a
mm,
velocity, it's the dollars per hour. So here's the way to think about it. You can have 10% for a month. You will tend to accrue a lot more money because you've held it for a month. But if you had 1% for a day, it's possible that 1%, the money that came in at that 1% was a lot faster, right? People
yeah,
found that attractive. So the right chart is the one. In ASG's case, it seems like, it's somewhat similar. So at 11%, he almost had about $1,500 coming in per hour.
yeah,
Um,
wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It could be for a small period of time. I think that probably is some kind of a promotion or some kind of a campaign that he ran. That's my gut feel just looking at this.
Hmm. Yeah, interesting. Very interesting to see.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then on the right side is just the just to give someone sense, right? How frequently someone is changing founder reward. So if you're a coin holder and you saw someone, increase your founder reward between yesterday and today, you may try to drop a note and saying, hey, you know what? Sorry, I'm late by a day. I was looking to buy your coins. I just saw you increase it. Do you mind rolling it back, right?
Yeah.
In ASG's case, he changed it last on May 19th, right? So he's
Mm,
been with the 9% founders reward or founder reward, for close to 3 weeks, just
yeah.
so that that he's not going up and down and on the founder reward.
Consistently.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
No, that's great to know. Absolutely. And yeah, this is perfect for investors and for creators because if I'm a new creator on the platform, I can look at ASG's profile, I can look
yeah,
at his founder reward and see where was he most successful, what rate. And I may not have to copy it, but at least I know, okay, maybe this is
exactly.
a good price point for me, a good percentage reward for me to begin with if I want to attract certain, quantities of investments, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
awesome.
Yeah,
Very awesome.
yeah.
Cool. And then here at
What
the bottom, yeah. Oh yeah, go for it. Mhm.
I will actually, if you don't mind, I want to roll back up a little bit. There's
Yeah.
a metric we actually jumped, we didn't talk about,
Mhm.
and I think that's an interesting metric to show the cap table risk. And
Yeah.
between this account and the next one we'll show, I think start making more sense to people. So
Yeah.
if we go back up, it's the back into the whole cap table piece. There's a
Hmm.
metric called HHI, the Herfindahl-Hirschman Index.
Ah.
And that metric, just to give a quick background on this metric, whenever, let's say, two large companies are getting into a merger, you'll hear the announcement saying, the terms are decided pending DOJ approval.
Uh-huh.
And what that DOJ approval means is they look at this number, right? Their assumptions go in, right? Lawyers play with this number and try to show this number the way they want to. But the point is, how does it change the whole market concentration if those two companies join? This number is essentially a concentration of, of a coin holder on your cap table. How much influence a coin holder has on your cap table. Higher the number, higher the influence the coin holders have. So if you have very few coin holders that hold a large portion of your coins, you will see this number as a very high number. And this
Ah.
number is between 0 and 1. 1 would basically mean one guy holds all the coins,
Everything. Hmm.
everything, right? And you can Google it and see how it's calculated. It's pretty interesting, but it's between 0 and 1. Lower the number, the better it is. So in
Nice.
ASG's case, it's 0.14. It's an okay range. Anything over 0.25, I would say, is things start to get a little interesting,
Risky.
where few people leaving or selling the coins will significantly impact the value.
Hmm.
Okay. The
Interesting.
one the one thing to keep in mind, again, the context matters, is if a verified coin holder is holding 50% of their supply, the number will be high because one person is holding 50% of the supply. But just
Yep.
keep that as context, right? Um, but yeah, so less than 0.25 is where I think creators, unfortunately, creators don't control this. But on a cap table risk point of view, less than 0.25 is where you want to be, and lower the number, potentially less than zero point 0.1 is where you feel decent about it, right? So if one person leaves, it won't like terribly destroy the coin price. Yes, it will reduce it, but not destroy it. So
Got
in
it.
ASG's case, because Douglas and ASG together hold roughly what, 24 and 19, about 43% of the total supply,
Yeah.
that's why this number sits at about 0.14.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, that's a very good number to see, and that's very important for investors. Absolutely. Wow. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Again, really cool to see this and break down ASG's profile. Very solid profile, very solid creator. A lot of good information that I've personally have taken from just sitting here and observing this myself. So very
Yeah.
cool. Um, yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching this first episode. The same thing we're going to be keep repeating every episode is DYOR. Do your own research. Prosper Cloud is a great tool to do that. There's so many amazing metrics for creators, for investors. And, moving forward, we're going to go ahead and be breaking down 2 creators a week. We're going to sit down, me and Salih are going to talk and really break down the creators, profile on Bitclout. We're going to have future guests coming in, and it's just going to be overall good information with good entertainment. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please leave us some feedback down below. We're curious to see
Yeah.
how you like these metrics. We are listening. We're going to adapt. We're going to change to whatever we feel the community needs. And yeah, we're excited to be shooting these things, and we're having a lot of fun. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will catch you on the next episode. Peace.